Hi, everybody. It's Karen from Divorce Workshop. We are waiting for, oh, Neepa's on.
Hi, Karen. How are you?
Good morning, Neepa. How are you?
Good, good. Good to see you
Yeah,
again.
yeah, I'm looking forward to today's conversation because I need to learn because I don't know much about this topic. So today we're going to talk about the distribution of marital property for immigrants and expats. Yeah.
Yes, the international property located outside.
So do you want to start by explaining like what are the major issues that couples have? I mean, this is a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. So this is like very common issue, or I would say one of the challenges, because when you are from other country and living in this country, it's very obvious that you may have some marital property located outside,
Hmm.
either in your home country or somewhere else, right?
Hmm.
So that is something always a question that can that property be included in the property distribution of the divorce, which is if it is a marital property, right?
Hmm.
And sometimes people don't know how to handle it. Sometimes there is less awareness. So it's less one of the challenges, right? And what I have seen is sometimes if the spouse or wife is dependent and not aware, like how she doesn't manage the finances, she may not have the idea of, or knowledge about that marital property situated outside.
Hmm.
So the first point I would say, since you said like what it is, that you need to at least do your due diligence, educate yourself, at least come to know that, okay, do you have any such property which is located outside? So that should be the first step.
Hmm.
And once you think that, yes, the property is there, now it's kind of an identification of the property, the word I would use. Why? Because now you know what type of property it is. It could be a real estate property,
Hmm.
or it could be just the money sitting in your bank account there outside in their home country or other country, or similar kind of property. So it really depends on what kind of property it is. And why I say is like, if it is real property, say house or land,
Hmm.
then it's easy to identify, because next step is how to identify what where the property is located in the home country, right? Or what it's.
No?
Oh, okay. I thought that I did. So then it's easy to find out, okay, my property is located here, under whose name it is, and can I have an access to it? If not, then how can I get the documents either from the government agencies of that country? So it gets easy if it is real estate properties. But
Hmm.
if it is in the bank account, like there is money is just sitting there, sometimes it gets little challenging to even find out that, okay, what bank it is, what is the value of that money, or any kind of such investment, right? Because in some countries, it's not possible to just issue subpoena and ask the bank to provide the details. Some countries don't allow that. And did I lose you again? Sorry, it's just going in circles. Oh, okay, maybe it's my connection. Can you
Yeah.
hear me properly?
Yeah, you're good.
Ah, okay. So that's question is there, that okay, a lawyer from here can issue subpoena in that country.
Hmm.
That's one question. Or second, if someone there in that country itself can issue subpoena to those banks or other investment agencies, and they provide the details, but because it depends upon different countries, some countries don't allow that, or bank may just decline that. So if it is that kind of liquid property, then it
Hmm.
is little challenging to find out how much it is, what is the value, well it is sitting. So this is kind of, I would say, the first step is identifying the property, type of property, under whose name it is. That's very important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be, but as you said, like finding property, like real estate or land is easier for
Yes.
everybody, right? Like for the
Yes.
divorcing. but it's harder when it's liquid, right? And
Correct.
that's even for everybody in divorce, right? It's a little bit more
Everybody.
harder, but
True.
so what other things do you recommend? So really
So,
investigate is the
yeah,
first one,
yeah.
right?
So
And
second, sorry,
so
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, yeah, the second is okay. And now I know this is the property, where it is lying. Now I need to know who can help me with that. Because it's not that I'm sitting here and I can do everything in the country. So is it something that my current attorney in this country, is
Mm-hmm,
he aware about this process? Does he have an experience working on such a situation, and can he help me?
mm-hmm,
Sometimes, as I mentioned, attorneys are restricted. They cannot work in other jurisdiction. They cannot issue any
yeah,
legal documents, or neither the court from here. So who can help me? Or can I hire some attorney over there who
mm-hmm,
can find out or help me there, and then my current lawyer and that attorney can collaborate and help me. So it's the second step is okay. Now I know it is who can help me to get it included and how to include it. That's another questions, because I have seen if the attorneys are not well versed it is, or they don't have any experience, they may just outright say that okay, it is not covered.
mm-hmm,
So it is another thing that okay, you have to ensure that people you take help from, or people like me who are experts dealing or dealing with the immigrants, or who have more knowledge, who I can connect
mm-hmm,
with you with the right people, so that I can help you ensure that you get it included in your property distribution. So the second step is who can help you, and you ensure that you take the right help and get it included in your property distribution. But that leads to the third point, that okay, this is a process, right? I need to find out my property, then I need to find out someone who can help, and I need to ensure that that person has an experience. Everything has a cost, right?
yeah,
Everything has cost, is monetary cost, or my stress level, or my efforts, or my time. May delay my process. So the question is it some there is an any alternative way to get the value property distribution justified? When I say that, meaning, let's take an example, like my property is located outside, which is worth $100.
mm-hmm,
So I am eligible for 50% share, which is $50. Okay, so rather than doing all this thing, can I just compensate that $50 in the property distribution here from the property here, and I can negotiate with my spouse that okay, you can keep that $100, and for the property here you give me 50 more, so we both have the equal distribution,
mm-hmm,
and then we don't need to go through all this, and it's amicable for everybody. No extra cost, no extra effort, and still I am getting justice from the equal property distribution which
yeah,
I'm eligible for. So that I always work with my client and advise them, let's find out the way. Since you have the property doesn't mean you have to fight it out, but let's find out another alternative. And if your spouse is cooperative, believes in amicable settlement, he or she would definitely be with you on the same page and say, okay, let's find out the property there is in my name, or in my say my father's name. So I'll keep that and I'll give you equal share here so that you are good. So that's something I always give as a tip to my clients. So yeah, it's
yeah.
very important to.
I think that's a great tip, though, even to be just aware of not, like, as you said, the costs add up. You have to see a lawyer in your home country or connect it with your lawyer. And so I think it's good that you give them both paths, right? That they kind of
Yes.
go, okay, you can take this path if you want. I guess it would depend on the value of the property and the house at the home, right? But,
Exactly.
it's all negotiable,
True.
or
True.
what you're saying. So that's really good tip
Yeah.
there. And do
Yeah.
you
So
have,
that's
go ahead.
Yeah. So that's why I said the last thing is like, okay, another thing as a top of point is, since your property is very less value, or you don't know the value
Mm-hmm,
of that property, for example, but you are otherwise getting justice, you are getting good property distribution, and everything is getting amicable, but just because of one piece, is it worth fighting your whole battle? Can you just let it go? Is it the another thought process that okay, I don't want to go through all the expenses, all the efforts and everything, but rest of the things are getting settled easily. I know there is a property, but is it worth fighting for? Because on the third point, your spouse is amicable, it's supportive. But what if the spouse is not supportive and
Mm-hmm.
say, hey, I'm not going to give you any detail or information. That's my property. You do whatever you can. So is it then worth fighting
Mm-hmm.
for? Since if everything else is going smooth, because then it's an additional effort, then and you it's an unsure. Still, you are not sure about it whether you will be able to get through everything because there are jurisdiction rules, country rules. Lawyer here has no say on that jurisdiction, so there are a lot of restrictions and limitations legally as well. So that's another thing is okay, is it worth fighting for?
Yeah.
That's very important to analyze and see it, because once you are in that emotional mindset and in the fighting mode, you are like whatever happens I'm gonna do it. And that's why I think you need some other experts help to help you walk through the path, think rationally and take a decision that okay, I have the property, but is it worth fighting for?
Now, I don't know, in your experience in other countries, can you hire like a realtor or evaluator to go in and just even give you an idea? So,
Yes,
like, if you know that, so it's the same, right? So you
most
can
of
kind
it.
of gauge,
Yes.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So that would help you kind of gauge whether it's worth
Correct.
fighting for or what you can,
Correct.
ask for here in exchange. Um, Now, does it make any difference if, like, say it's in your home city and your family's still there? Does that make a difference to people? Like, do they still want to keep it more, or do they like, did any time do they want to keep their own property at home as well? Like, have you ever seen that, or they just want to get, like, they just want it sold? Like, do you know what I mean?
So, I have seen that if the people who are from the home country, they lived there a very long time, they come here just for the work purpose, they
Mm-hmm.
on work visa, and they plan to either go back
Mm-hmm.
or they don't know if they're going to settle here forever. Mostly they do buy property,
Mm-hmm.
over there during marriage. If they have some inheritance property from there, of course, that's not part of marital
Mm-hmm.
thing, but they usually do as part of investment as well, because most of the developing countries, the exchange rate and dollar versus their currency is a difference. So
Mm-hmm.
even if from $100 you can like buy say $800 for example, or eight thousand
Right.
dollars depending upon this. So it's like okay, I'm earning here, I have enough liquid, why not buy and invest there for future security or for the old age or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So people do buy the property and keep it for the purpose of keeping it.
Right.
And that's where this question comes very common, that okay, I have the property. Or sometimes the husband buys the property, but he buys in the name of his parents or something, where wife have no access,
Right.
and that's where this question comes, that okay, the valuers are there as you said, but I should have the access and information to give it to the valuer to evaluate. But if I don't have any information or access to the information, how will I take help of the experts? That's
Mm-hmm.
where this conflict comes in picture.
Yeah. So do a lot of, we talked about this before. Do a lot of times you have to get a lawyer in your home country then to deal with this?
Yeah, people, yeah, if you have to, because you
Mm-hmm.
need some help who are experts in it. You don't
Mm-hmm.
need to maybe hire a family law attorney,
Right.
but maybe something related to real estate to help you get that. But again, that comes to a question, is it worth doing?
Yeah, I think that's the whole sum of it all up today,
Yeah,
right? You have to ask yourself whether it's worth doing. And what you brought up, another good point, was what the currency is there
yeah,
to the currency of the USA,
yeah,
which is one of the stronger
correct,
dollars, right? So
correct,
you kind of, yeah, you kind of have to, it's a good thing to have a whole picture
correct,
of everything,
correct.
because as you said at the beginning, we all been there, where you kind of get stuck in that emotional going,
Yes,
I want this, I want this.
yes,
But in reality, when you lay it all out, you're like, well, maybe I don't really need that, right?
correct,
So it's best to strategize
correct.
with someone like you that's an expert in this field, right?
Correct. Correct. Yeah, because that's the important thing. Like type of property is very important. If it is real estate, yes, you know you can, and you can put that here in the document. You ensure that your attorney puts the value of that this, and you have
Hmm.
evidence to show it to the court or the judge, and it becomes easy for the court also to put it on the paper on the judgment or the order that okay, this is the value of that property and it is
Hmm.
being added here. So this is the total marital property which will be distributed between both of you. But if you don't have that leverage and evidence, it gets challenging for even for your lawyer, even if he's experienced.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
to do
So it's
that.
really good. I mean, this advice is for everybody that's going through divorce or exploring divorce is to investigate, right? Like to start
Correct.
planning
Correct.
out.
Correct.
But this is really important for expats and immigrants. That's
Yes.
to make sure that they have an idea of what property.
Yes.
I guess with liquid, it's a more challenging thing. It's more challenging with everybody, but it would be if they have money somewhere in bank accounts. Uh, it's harder to figure it all
Figure
out
out.
because,
Yes.
yeah,
So an
yeah.
example of say India, because I'm from India, I'll just give you an example. So in India, like issuing subpoena to the banks doesn't work like that. So here
Hmm.
in US, what you do if you don't have any information, but you know, okay, there is a Bank of America, for example, there's a bank where the account is there. I have no information. I request my lawyer that find it out. So my lawyer issue a subpoena to Bank of America that okay, there is an account under this name. Please provide all the details, and the
Hmm.
bank has to provide those details because it's a legal request from the court which the lawyer sends. But I think in India, if I'm not wrong, you cannot do that, and banks are not obliged to provide the details. So even if I know, okay, my spouse has an as bank account in say Bank of India, for example, and then still Bank of India is not obliged to give you all the information, you know.
Hmm.
So there are challenges on those countries itself based on the rules of those
Yeah,
countries.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it's important to actually educate yourself on that as well, right?
correct,
What your rules of your country, of the home country is,
correct,
because they're going to probably could possibly be different than what
correct.
they are here.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, the bottom line is for this is for everybody, not only immigrants or expats or you, since you have this life, you should have your basic knowledge of your finances,
Hmm.
your security for your future. Doesn't matter if you are in divorce or you have a very good thriving married life, but this is for your own and for your kids and for your future to have the basic information handy for you never know what comes what's there in future for you, right?
Hmm.
So it's always important to have this basic financial information and be aware about it and update yourself. You don't have to like think every single expense, but
Hmm.
the broader picture you
Hmm.
should know, you should have it's
Yeah,
very
that
important.
it's very important. Do you have any other tips or anything before we go?
No, we are good. That the first, the important tip we already discussed that if you can compensate with some other property value here, that's the best way you
That's
can manage it.
good.
But yeah, that's the best tip I can give, and it has really helped a lot of my clients that
Yeah,
way.
yeah, it makes sense, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's what's worth fighting for is what we always have to
Exactly.
remember, right? Does
Yeah.
anybody have any questions for Neepa before we go? If you do, just put or comments. If you do, just let us know. Otherwise, Neepa, where can people get in touch with you?
Sure. Yeah. You can get in touch with me through my website or through this Instagram account. My website, I'll just put it here. I'll just tap it in quickly. It's holistic divorce. Let me just. It's a little long name. Divorce journey
We got great and practical info. Thank you, Squirrel Canada.
journey.com. Hope the spelling is correct. So this is my website. You can reach out to me through my website, or you can message me on Instagram or wherever you can find me. I'll be happy to respond to you.
All right, great. And I can't wait till we talk again, Neepa. It's always,
Yes.
as usual, it's always a good for me. I learn a lot from you.
Of
So thanks for coming on and take care, everybody.
course. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.